Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Prologue Productions podcast.
Yasso.
Yasso. What's that? What's yasso mean?
So what's the deal, man?
That's Greek for something.
It's Greek for hello, according to Google.
Yeah.
And that leads us into our first point of this session, which is we're doing the Mythic Odyssey of Theros.
Theros.
Yes.
Which is kind of like a Rome Greek fantasy analog, which
That's
is
right.
a Magic the Gathering block.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun, very exciting. Lots of gods and titans and
Athletics and crazy mythical creatures that jump out of the pages and bite you right on the head of your body.
No, you should. You're really dancing around that one.
I was.
Okay.
I didn't want to say dick so early in the session.
I see.
There it is.
Oops.
Anyway, welcome. And as always, I'm Jake.
And I'm Jacob.
Thanks for joining us. I think first and foremost, we need to explain a little bit of why we chose Theros. And that reason is we asked, and I think 3 people said Theros. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we had we did a little poll and everybody voted for Theros, or the majority voted for Theros. So, if you're interested in choosing the path in which we delve to next, we will post that at a later date and you can influence the direction that we're headed. So,
That's right. Unless, of course, the higher-ups have something for us that we need to do.
yeah, well, you know,
Fan favorites work, though.
fan favorites, yeah.
Yes, we need interaction with the people.
Yes, of course.
People. So, I think to start a brief sort of summary of Theros, which we pretty much already did. Heroic, high fantasy, Greek-inspired, Greek analog. There is a adventure that comes packaged with the Theros setting, which we are going to use as sort of our jump-off point. We're not going to get into too heavy, but I think that it is important to mention that for those of you that are curious, because Wizards of the Coast basically says this is a good point to start. So that's what we're going to do to make it easy.
Yep, and it's pretty bare bones when it comes to like the actual framework of it. There's literally rollable tables for you to get certain information that is going to be divulged with certain characters or certain secrets that get revealed in it. So once we get into coming up with our doing our recap there, we'll definitely be rolling up on that. And it's just going to be a little bit more of they have it as a framework, so we're going to use it as a framework to kind of come up with our own sort of flavor on this this short adventure. So,
and there are some races that come specific with Theros that we're going to specifically use. There's 6 total if you count humans. So we're just going to roll exclusively on that table. So there might be a lot of rerolls for the race. There's 1 background that comes with Theros that we may or may not get into. And other than that, we'll kind of hit the details as we go. Specific gods. There's a supernatural gift that the book mentions new characters should get, just as sort of a jump-off point. And we're definitely going to do that too, because that's freaking awesome. So I think without further ado, let's jump into it.
absolutely.
And as always, our first roll is class, which is a D20 and a D6.
And a D6. Yes, let's get it. That is 5.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be option
Cleric.
3. Cleric.
That's new. We haven't done a cleric yet.
All right.
That's perfect.
I like it.
A good start.
Now, for Cleric, we've got...
And cleric's so great too because, sorry to cut you off.
No, please.
It's so great too because clerics are innately divine. And one of the main themes of Theros is divinity, deities that grant powers, because deities aren't just these sort of lofty like principles or set of values that you're supposed to follow. They're actual beings that exist in the world and do things make changes in the physical realm that affect everybody, including the characters, which is important.
Absolutely. And an individual who does amass enough of a following or enough of I can't use the words, enough believers, you can actually arise to godhood as well. So it's the gods come from this plane outside of Theros called the Nyx, which is basically the realm in which dreams manifest. So this setting in particular very much focuses on, worship and belief, and any individual with enough drive and power can arise to godhood. And it's super cool, good super stuff. Fun.
Everyone wants to be a god, am I right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So this is cleric.
To be a god.
Da, 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 da. All right. So this is out of 14. So yes. How do you want to handle this? You want to just do a D20 or you want to do
D20, D8?
D20, D8? All right, let's sender.
So if I roll a 2, it's just knowledge domain is going to get, if I roll 2 is knowledge, everything else will be 3 afterward.
That's a good roll.
17, which is going to be option 8.
Death domain. Serve the idea of death. Everything must eventually end.
Interesting. I like it. Okay. Death domain. So that, in this case, we were going to kind of choose the god that most applies to the character towards the end, but since this is a cleric, it's kind of important.
Easy peasy as well. It's stated right there in the subclass. So first of all, clerics, a little background on them. They're healers and warriors. Their majority of their purpose in D&D, or I think in most games, are healing. You're going to be conduits for healing power. Although, based on your subclass, you could have a little bit of a specialty. For example, the death domain cleric is a little interesting because that's concerned, obviously, with the forces that cause death, as well as the negative energy that gives rise to undead creatures. So they're sort of like the evil aligned clerics. I think that's the common thing. However, you could have a death domain cleric that probably worships a god or goddess of death that's not necessarily evil aligned. Like, for example, the Raven Queen. I think in Theros, the analog for that is going to be...
is Erebos.
Erebos.
Yes.
Erebos.
And he's not necessarily an evil. He's very much a neutral, kind of like the Raven Queen, where Erebos is kind of the god that is the inevitable fate. That's kind of the person that you answer to at the end of your life. And he kind of chooses, there are different, I don't remember the specific realms, but there are actually different realms of the underworld based on how you lived your life. And so he's kind of like the final... he's like the final judgment at the end of your life, and kind of, guides you to whichever part of the underworld that best suits.
You get sorted.
Yeah, you get sorted.
Yeah, he's the sorting hat of the underworld. Wonderful. And he's technically neutral evil, so still quote unquote evil or bad, but not for the sake of anything except just probably that's his role. Yeah. In this world is they ascended, and that's their assigned thing, is like you control the dead.
Kind of like Hades.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hades
very much like Hades. Has a very tenuous relationship with Heliod, which is the god of the sun, which is very much an analog to Zeus. Basically, I think it's a similar story where Heliod had kind of cast Erebos to govern the underworld.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. There is here a little brief section in the Theros setting guide where you can come here, and it suggests some quests for a champion of Erebos that they may or may not partake in during the course of a campaign. And this might be something we revisit. Maybe we'll hit this at the end of this little session here for this Death Domain Cleric. But specifically it says that Erebos spends most of his time and attention on the underworld, leaving his champions to safeguard his interests in the realm of the living. He might call upon his followers to punish those who escape the underworld, spread despair, or thwart the schemes of other gods, particularly Heliod or Phoenix.
Very nice.
Very cool. Very well. We're moving on. What's our next table?
Next is going to be race. So we're rolling D6 for race. And let's see what we get. Is 4, so we got a
Triton. And a god, a death domain Triton. That is interesting. certainly interesting. So while good old Jakob over there checks out the Triton race, I am going to spend a little bit of time here and go over some of the death domain stuff because some of it's pretty freaking cool. So first of all, again, very necromancy focused. They get cool necromancy spells like, let's see here, Animate Dead, Death Ward, Anti-Life Shell, some of the first level stuff, False Life, Ray of Sickness. So very, death themed. Their Channel Divinity, which is something that all clerics get along with paladins. It's called Touch of Death. When the cleric hits a creature with a melee attack, the cleric can use Channel Divinity to deal extra necrotic damage. That damage is 5+ his or her cleric level. As they get higher in level, they get Inescapable Destruction, which they can channel negative energy, and the necrotic damage ignores resistance to necrotic damage. They get a Necrotic Divine Strike, and at a high level, at 17th level, when they cast a necromancy spell 1st through 5th, it targets one creature. It can instead target 2 within 5 feet of each other, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think probably this might be one of the underserved subclasses.
Yeah, there's always a handful of the subclasses for any of the any
but
class.
It's still really freaking cool.
Yeah.
So what do we got going on with Triton?
Tritons guard the ocean depths, building small settlements beside deep trenches, portals to the elemental planes, and other dangerous spots far from the eyes of land-bound folk. Long-established guardians of the deep ocean, in recent years, the noble Tritons have become increasingly active in the world above.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. They also, basically, it says that I think that this is from the Monster of the Multiverse. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go specifically with the one from Theros. Because there's a few different versions, technically.
Yeah.
There's a Volo's Guide and a Mordenkainen version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the one that I read was the Legacy, the Volo's Guide.
Yeah. You want to do the Mordenkainen version or the Volo version?
Let's check out the Volo.
It's cooler.
Let's check out the Volos, or the other one, the Mordenkainen.
So the Mordenkainens basically says they protect the world's ocean from terrors in the deep. They extend their stewardship over the seafloor to the ocean's surface. Little description, very bare bones. As far as traits go, they can control air and water. So they can cast Fog Cloud, Gust of Wind, Water Walk. They have Dark Vision. They can communicate simple ideas to any beast, elemental, or monstrosity that has a swimming speed. And they are guardians of the depths, so they have resistance to cold damage.
That's very nice.
Very, very interesting. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. I like the variety in which they have for casting their spells, or their free spell they get to cast.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very cool.
So we have a Triton Death Domain Cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I feel like that's really cool. I'm imagining them as like a deep sea Triton.
Yeah. Like
an anglerfish Triton or something like that.
Ooh, I like that.
That would be cool.
That's super cool.
Or some other deep sea creature.
And if they're a champion for the god of death, Erebos, they probably help with those who died during shipwrecks.
That would be cool.
And would kind of, help them move on to the next life, or help them move on to be judged by Erebos.
Ooh. Already.
It's so
good.
Spicy. So spicy.
There's also, Volos has a lot more information than Mordenkainen's does. I think Mordenkainen's was sort of like the brief amendment to certain, especially traits of classes. But basically they're, again, aquatic crusaders. They protect deep sea trenches, portals, undersea caves, blah, blah, blah. They're also haughty nobles. So they're a little superior and disdainful of others.
Interesting.
That could be fun. And staunch champions, which is perfect for Theros.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Great. And they might even be a little bit new to the surface world.
Mm-hmm. So they had to have had a reason to approach the surface. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yes. I like it.
It probably has something to do with their god.
Yeah.
Erebos has something for them to do.
Mm-hmm. And how the setting, or how that basic adventure works, is that they find this mask, right? That's supposed to have a secret. There's the god of deceit known as Phoenix, who is kind of ignored by all of the other gods. He's the chismoso of the of the gods. He basically knows all the secrets of the other gods. So they all kind of just leave him alone. And so maybe the secret's related to one or multiple gods, And so he's trying to Phoenix has a secret that if let out would ruin, has a secret. Ooh. Would threaten my godhood or something, or there could be, you can go, there's a lot of ways you can go with that, but for whatever reason Phoenix has some sensitive information that Erebos is like, you need to handle this.
I like that. Mm-hmm. We'll see. There again, that table that I mentioned.
Yeah, could be anything.
Erebos quest, which we roll on that maybe.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe it tells us why our angler fish, maybe Triton friend, is on the surface.
Our angler Triton. Very cool. Very nice. Very good.
It's almost like we're just fishing for ideas here.
Oh. So background.
Background. Yay. Moving on. Background is going to be a D20.
Yes, sir. Let's see. We have a 10, which is going to be a hermit.
We already did hermit.
A hermit.
Wait,
crab.
did we? Did we do hermit?
No, we haven't done hermit.
We haven't done hermit. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Hermit. A hermit crab. A hermit crab Triton.
Yeah, no.
That's out of the show.
Yeah, no, maybe.
Okay. So
even amongst their people is kind of an outcast of, just kind of an outcast, and basically just is almost like a cleanup crew. I kind of see it, maybe they're like a little cleanup crew where they kind of help clean up all the detritus of like wrecked ships and stuff because of the god Thassa. Yeah. Thassa's the god of the oceans.
Nice. I like that.
God of the sea.
I like that they named him Thassus, like
her.
Thassa. Or her, excuse me.
Yeah.
Because like thalassophobia, the fear of deep water, very, very close to that. I'm sure each of the names has a root somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the Greek language.
Mm-hmm. It's a very cool, very interesting looking character.
Ooh,
kind of has like a super, like a crazy looking mermaid creature thing.
Yeah, like a sea serpent mermaid.
Yeah, her weapon's a big old bident.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like not a fork, not a trident, a bident.
A bident, yeah. It's a two-pronged
poker.
Two-pronged poker.
Sort of, yeah.
That's
cool
right.
Stuff. So hermit.
You
lived in seclusion, either in a sheltered community such as a monastery or entirely alone. In your time apart from the clamor of society, you found quiet, solitude, and perhaps some of the answers you were looking for. And they get some cool stuff. They have proficiencies in medicine and religion. They have an herbalism kit. They learn a language of choice. There is a life of seclusion table that we can roll on if we wish.
Absolutely. Tell me what.
That is a D8.
D8. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I rolled a 5.
I needed a quiet place to work on my art, literature, music, or manifesto.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, there's so many cool things I can think of.
Yeah, there really is.
If they're like an artist, they basically took like shipwrecks and then started creating like these cool arts, these cool works of art with like sunken bodies and detritus and wrecked ship bits.
I'm imagining like other Triton diving down into a deep sea trench to see if there's anything, and they just see driftwood statues and like bodies in weird positions. Like,
that is so crazy. That is hermit behavior. If I ever
is.
Oh my God.
That's pretty cool.
Do you want to do that, or do we want to keep it, or do we want to do
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And then maybe while they were seeking seclusion to work on their morbid deep sea art, the god Erebos was like, "You're my guy." Like
this guy knows what's up.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's super cool. As in, that's kind of them honoring the deaths of those who passed, because otherwise they're just going to be eaten by the creatures on the seafloor. So they would definitely be in like strange positions, and then maybe like coral, and then small little ecosystems sort of arise around the bodies. So maybe they maybe live inside this little this like underwater trench.
That'd be cool.
And it's like their little art studio.
Uh-huh.
And there's just a bunch of little like sea critters who are coming around
and then
nibbling on the
like in the trench, like there's shelves, like it sort of shelves down on each region of these shelves. There's just macabre art pieces.
Oh my God.
All across them.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
That is so awesome.
So also hermits have a feature called Discovery, which basically allows, so each one of these features, for those of you who are not familiar with this kind of thing for D&D, it gives the DM and you sort of a connection, an established connection in the story that your character can use to have an effect. It may give you advantage on a roll, or it may just give you some type of, like boon or something that your character can do based on your character's background. For the feature, it's again Discovery. The quiet seclusion of your extended hermitage give you access to unique and powerful discovery. The exact nature of this revelation depends on the nature of your seclusion. Why does this sound so familiar? Is the discovery feature part of a different background too?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Storyteller.
Oh yeah, you're right. Storyteller
Yeah,
has some kind of. It's a similar flavor, or it might be almost the same. I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that's pretty cool. So basically, you know something that nobody else knows.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Ooh, I think it's not widely known that individuals have the power to influence the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this character does know that. And so he sort of is creating this workshop or this, this art gallery of all of these dead creatures to pay homage to Erebos, and maybe people come visit.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of helps Erebos maintain his power. Or is one of the aspects that helps maintain Erebos' power.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he was granted his cleric powers. Because unbeknownst to him, he was actually helping, because everyone was looking at all this death and being like, remembering Erebos. Mm-hmm. And so Erebos was gaining, followers and getting divine power, even though this person wasn't. Or
people believe, it's just, it's the followers, but also the mere belief in something can influence the world at large. If a large enough group believes that a specific event is going to happen, then there may not be a specific timeline on it, but it will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, there's also variant hermits. Cool. Interesting. Anyway, moving on. So next up, we have age. We're going to roll for age.
Age. All right. It's going to be D4. Let's see how long has this guy been doing it? He's a child.
Young.
He's young.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I really hope the tragedy meter is fairly high for this.
It makes sense.
Because this would make a lot of sense.
Although,
maybe this character's parents.
Maybe that's all they've known.
Maybe he's carrying on a legacy, and then depending on tragedy, they passed away. And this has been like a family of hermits who are like dedicated to like honoring those who've passed away during shipwrecks and stuff.
That's cool.
And
we'll see.
He's just another in the line, maybe. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have the personality traits, for which we will slide on over to the personality master table. First roll is going to be a D100.
D-hundo, you tell me what a 40 is.
40. I get bored easily when when am I going to get on with my destiny?
Oh.
That makes sense. If they're young.
Yes, I get on with my destiny. So that makes a lot of sense. So maybe this person has been at it for most of their life, or maybe they were taught like, hey, this is how we pay homage to those who have passed during shipwrecks, because otherwise they're just going to be sitting on the floor.
So in this case, the life of seclusion as a hermit would sort of be like almost like a family monastery in like a deep sea trench.
Yeah.
Like that they just grew up in their whole life, and they're like, when am I going to find my destiny? I'm so bored, but then they get chosen by Erebos.
Yeah.
Or maybe everybody in this family are Death Domain clerics.
Yeah.
Simply because of how they
This
grow.
is a tradition of the family, and they may have been, maybe they're outcasts in society or in their community because they deal with death.
Yeah.
But they have a very unique view of it, where death is just another part of life, or it's just like another step in the process.
Yeah. Because most other Tritons would, I think, pretty obviously pray to Thassa, I think.
Yeah.
But this family in their little art monastery, they're the black sheep.
Yeah, no, Thassa is the god of the sea, and
Yeah.
we love the bounty that she gives us. But at the end, at the very end, it all leads to Erebos.
That's cool.
Ooh,
Hot damn, diggity dog. All right, God, sometimes I say some really cringy shit. Let's do ideals.
You really do. Just...
D100.
All right, let's see. That is a 31.
31. Community. It is the duty of all civilized people to strengthen the bonds of community and the security of civilization.
Yeah,
Which is a lawful thing.
which is what we were saying. But
Yeah.
this is all about the community, and definitely leans into that idea that we have of this being a tradition of their family, and then being an important part of this community. And it might not be looked upon favorably to like the Triton community or the Triton city or wherever they are from as a whole, but it's an important aspect.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And that might even be, depending on what the tragedy meter tells us, that might be their part of their discovery.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone died, and now that none of their family are taking care of the back end of Triton life, aka death, or death on the sea.
Yeah, maybe disease is starting to spread.
Or maybe like they're the only ones holding back some awful giant undead deep sea creature or some crazy shit like that. Can you imagine like an undead kraken?
There's
Ooh.
No. Hold on. Give me a second. There's a specific god. There's a god in Theros, which is not Uro. What is the name of it? It's essentially like... No, what's his name? Okay, there we go. So there are several titans, which it's very similar to like Roman.
Or Titans?
Yeah, the Titans, Greek. To Greek mythology, where like the world was originally created, there were the Titans, and Titans bred chaos and everything, and the gods locked them away so that they were able to create life and followers, and that's kind of how the world of Theros was created. There is one called Kroxath, which is the Titan of death, or the Titan of hunger, essentially.
Dope name. Kroxath?
Kroxath, yeah.
Kroxath.
So maybe Erebos had given this duty to these people to kind of help praise or to appease Kroxath from awakening.
Who is like trapped in one of the deepest trenches in the... Oh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine fighting a Titan? Oh.
And Kroxath is like... It's basically greed. It's kind of like greed, where it has like endless hunger. It constantly has to feed. It doesn't feed because it's hungry. It feeds because
it has to.
It has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Ooh, super cool.
There's also Uro, which is kind of like the Titan of like nature's wrath.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I feel like Kroxath, like especially if they're trying to like create these art installations of people and humans to like, or creatures that have fallen down to the floor, ocean floor. Yeah. Or maybe they even... Okay, here
we go. He's about to cook.
Installations from like the broken down ships and stuff, but they drop the bodies down into this deep ravine, to help appease a Kroxath.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
And if the bodies stop going down the trench, shit starts getting
then Kroxath starts to get real hungry. Ooh,
That's really good.
I love it.
I love that. That's cool. We're definitely rolling with that.
Okay.
All right. So that's been traits, ideals. Let's hit bonds.
Bonds.
This is another D100. Okay. All right.
72. Do we have enough for 72?
72. That should be good. I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, solid. That's a good adventuring.
Yeah.
That's a good adventuring bond to have.
It also goes hand in hand with the trait of I'm like, where's my destiny? I'm so bored.
Yeah.
Like I want to go fight some shit.
Yep.
Why are we dropping bodies down this trench and making art? Which it'd be cool if like they think it's art, but in reality, this practice has been passed down generation after generation for the sake of making people go away. Like it's actually a subtle warning to everyone else who visits because to them it's art, but to everyone else who comes down and sees this shit, it's like, okay, this is terrifying. I need to get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. And so maybe this person doesn't even know. Another classic call to adventure, like they don't know that they're part of something huge and important. What?
Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but their discovery is that they're aware of Kroxath and that their whole community is aware of Kroxath. So they do this for one, the community at large doesn't discover this, and also to appease Kroxath.
Yes.
Ooh.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Reel it in. Dun. Reel it in. Anyway. All right. Flaws. Reel it in.
10.
10. I'm too greedy for my own good. I can't resist taking a risk if there's money involved. They got a little bit of a
And that leads into the boredom.
Streak.
That leads into the boredom.
Yep.
And this is probably why they're looking to leave. They're trying to find any excuse to get away.
I can also think this might, if there's money involved, maybe in this like monastery, the seclusion that they live in, they are very like, okay, we make art out of the wrecks. We don't use anything we find in the wrecks. Everything we find stays in the art, or maybe they also drop it down the trench, and perchance,
and maybe this character,
this individual is like
tasked to do like maybe to give a sacrifice to it. Yeah, there's like maybe there was an item that they found, or there was a significant amount of money, and they just couldn't help themselves, so they took it and ran with it.
Do you know what one of Erebos's description, their traits are? Wealth. Four-fingered hand grasping a coin. So maybe all of the coin, all of the treasure that they find, they sacrifice to Erebos. But this young little Triton instead got a little too avaricious and let their nature, and they like are trying to get away with a treasure. Yeah. Like an actual treasure.
And thinking Erebos might be upset, but in fact he's like, this one gets it.
Because that's trickery.
Yeah, that is trickery.
So yeah, that would be a fun little twist. Okay, cool. That's so good. Such good stuff.
Now, yours and my favorite.
No, we're gonna do supernatural gift first.
Okay.
Before we do the
right. Yes.
Before we do the tragedy meter. So Theros, as I mentioned earlier, it suggests that every character gets a supernatural gift. Because that's cool. And because that is cool, we're going to do that. And that's a D10.
Okay. Let me just give it a roll. Has 8.
8 is pious. They're deeply devout. So they are proficient in religion, and one other skill, they can reroll saving throw once per long rest, and they have extra gold / favor. Dude, this stuff writes itself. Extra gold,
extra favor. So in this character's mind is following the tenets of Erebos by taking that money for himself.
Yes, because Erebos is also the god of trickery.
Yeah, and tricking his tricking his family into taking this money and then going off and doing whatever he wants to do with that money. I don't know, but
Yep.
Ooh,
Good stuff.
oh, so
Let's read a little bit more into this the supernatural deity real quick. Born with a particular connection to a deity, Erebos, you've been winning favor with your god since birth.
makes sense.
Yep. So pious protection. If you fail a saving throw, you can re-roll it, and you must use the new roll. That's a long rest thing. That's basically an indomitable, which is a fighter thing.
Yeah.
Religious study, advantage on any religion check pertaining to your chosen god, and you start with a piety score of 3. So that's another unique. Another unique thing with Theros is you have a piety score. So each thing you do that basically supports your god, you get more piety. And through this accumulation of points, like above table points, you can get boons. Your god will give you stuff.
Yeah, you can get spells you can cast per day. You can get extra abilities, and then as if you become basically like their champion, reaching I think the piety is like 30 or higher or something like that. You actually get like stat boosts,
Like an epic boon.
Oh yeah, you get 2 stat boosts. It's crazy.
Yep. So this supernatural gift also comes with a pious quirks table. So maybe one more thing to add to our little buddy.
I'll put this under other.
Yeah, let's do that. And that's going to be a D6 for a pious quirk for our friend here.
A D6, you say?
Yes,
D6.
I do say.
That is a 4.
I dream one day of entering Nyx and being granted a permanent place at my god's side. Sounds about right. With a headstrong young Triton. That sounds pretty damn good.
Oh my god.
Very good.
Beautiful.
Very, very good.
Pious quirk one day, entering next and becoming permanent place by my god's side. Beautiful. I got it. Yes.
Okay. Now we come to bum bum bum.
The tragedy meter. That's a 5.
That's a 5. Okay. Average tragedy.
I think where we're landing is around a 5, give or take.
Yeah.
Approximately.
So maybe a 5 could be they were caught and their family basically banished them, said, go, like, don't come back until you learn how to.
I think their worship of Erebos is more of a side effect of what they're doing. And their main goal is to prevent Kroxath from breaking from its bonds and coming out and killing everything.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely think this individual who was birthed had a particular affinity to Erebos, more so than everyone else. So I think that might have been why they're like, cast them out. Yeah.
Or maybe even it wasn't like, I think that works out because it makes this character a little bit more unique. Is their piety towards Erebos, like you said, is a little bit more of a just because of the way they do things, they know that they have to sacrifice the gold. Otherwise, bad things will happen. Yeah. For one, it'll bring people to them who want to steal. If they're amassing wealth, people are going to come and try to steal it.
Yeah.
But unknowingly, or maybe slightly knowingly, like the elders know that Erebos is more or less on their side. And then this child is born with a unique, bent towards Erebos's sort of traits. And then they find him or her, I think probably a him at this point, we're using him, stealing treasure. And so they say, okay, you're taking this too far. You need to go to the surface and you need to go learn that the life down here is easy and you need to go learn how hard things are.
Yeah.
And while he's gone, some shit starts to happen. Because a 5 could be banished from home, but it could also mean something happens while they're gone.
Yes. It could also, maybe they even had a pivotal part in this sort of thing, and then they had to cast them out because they had no other choice, because they basically broke like one of the key tenets of their community, stealing from Erebos, essentially.
Yep.
When in fact, Erebos, keeping an eye on this one, kind of likes it.
Yeah.
He's like, don't steal from me, but I respect the hustle.
Especially if you are born as already being like a favorite of Erebos. So unknowingly, the monastery sort of family that he belongs to is wrong for kicking him out, but they don't necessarily know that. But Erebos is fine with him kicking him out so that he can go and become more of a favored cleric of his domain.
Not upset, but sees the potential.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a little annoyed that you stole my treasure. However,
this quest is going to be good for you.
However, I like you.
Mm-hmm. Damn. I love this character.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. All right, let's see if we can come up with a name here.
Yeah.
So there are some suggested stuff because I don't know how the freaking frack I would name a Triton.
Yeah. But we were thinking that this is maybe a like deep sea Tritons because they're kind of this community grew up in the trenches. Or
grew up in the trenches.
Listen, yeah, I mean they did.
That sounds super hood.
It does. They grew up in the hood. These are these are
they
hood
kicked me out of the trench. That's some bullshit.
So they probably would show. They would probably show some signs of have like deep ocean creatures. So maybe they're not necessarily blind, but maybe it's a little bit harder to see. Or maybe they have some features like the little. Like the little, like a lanternfish. You know,
I want to look up some deep sea fish.
Lanternfish. There's a football fish.
Yeah, football fish.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lanternfish. They basically have like a little. They have like a little line or a little dangler thing.
Yeah. I see. Oh, it would be that's way cooler than a anglerfish if they just have these crazy teeth, and then they're limbed in darkness, like they're limbed in this like bioluminescent.
They got like some bioluminescent going down their face. Yeah,
that would be super
going
cool.
down like down their chest and stuff.
Because anglerfish are ugly.
A lot of deep sea creatures are pretty ugly.
Yeah,
but they're super cool. Mm-hmm. I love deep sea creatures. They're very interesting.
I don't like looking at them.
Okay, they're super cool. You know,
they give me the creeps.
Yeah, they're pretty creepy.
Ooh, a dragonfish looks super cool. Mm-hmm. Loosejaw, deep sea squid.
Loosejaw.
Maybe that's their name.
Yeah,
Loosejaw.
Loosejaw. Listen, I like it. All right,
it's not bad.
Yeah, Loosejaw.
It's not bad at all.
Or no, that's my heart's and now my brain's like yes.
That's it.
Loosejaw.
And then it says that Tritons use their home protectorate as a surname. So basically, you add to the end of the protectorate's surname, and that's their last name.
Loosejaw Trenches.
Loosejaw Trencheth.
Loosejaw Trenches. He talks like this.
He talks like,
yeah.
My name, Loose.
No, you gotta bring out the jaw when you talk like this. Yeah.
That lower jaw forward. That's so funny. All right, so Loosejaw, fine. We'll go with Loosejaw.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I think for last name, let's dive a little bit into. It doesn't really. There's nothing like specific about any underwater features.
No.
But there might be here nautical adventures, underwater adventures. Let's see here. Boop 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 boo. Doo, 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 doo. I don't know. We'll come up with something cool. You know what? There's just some suggestions here. Let's just use one of those. How about Vuvaxath?
That the last name?
Vuvaxath. Or wait, what's the Titan's?
That's hard to say with shoving your bottom jaw underneath.
What was the name? Kroxath?
Yeah.
Kroxath? Maybe it's Kroxath.
Kroxath.
But
they don't want people to know that that's the.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, just because that's the name of, that doesn't mean that people are automatically going to assume that that's where the Triton's hidden. Or Titan. Yeah, you're right.
If you got an entire group of people that are vaguely named off of a Titan of unending hunger.
That doesn't mean that they are a monastic sort of secluded place.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that people know their surname. Maybe he hides his surname. Maybe that's something that these people do. His surname is Kroxath.
Loosejaw Kroxath or
Kroxath. Loosejaw Kroxath.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sure.
Don't give me that. It's specific to the backstory.
Okay, fine.
Cool.
Sure. Sure, why not?
Could be good. Could be fun.
Loosejaw Kroxath.
All right, now real quick.
Loosejaw Kroxath.
So I think we know why Loosejaw is going to the surface, and because basically they've been told, get out of here. So maybe they even have a little bit extra treasure on them.
Yeah. I would if this was, if this was a player in our campaign or in a campaign, I would say, you know what? You'd give yourself give yourself 100 gold.
A little extra something.
Give yourself 100 gold. That's it's pretty juicy.
And then based on how the beginning of this campaign / this adventure is going to go, basically we don't need a huge lead in. It's basically they go to this city. So we're going to choose one of the 3 major cities.
Sure.
And then when you're at this city, some stuff happens. You meet the other members of the party.
Yeah.
And then you're on the road and something happens. Boom. Campaign starts.
Yeah.
Or maybe even they're on their way to the city. They meet these people who are also on their way to the city. They form a loose group. And then on their way to the city, that instigating event happens.
Yeah.
We'll see until we make the other characters.
Yeah. Once we make the other characters, then we can really choose like a specific city that sort of works for this. Melitus is by the coast, so that's probably, I'm feeling that's going to be a good contender.
Sure, Melitus sounds good.
Akaros is it's like kind of a little bit more inland. For those who don't know, the world of Theros is kind of pressed up against the coastline. And civilization kind of lives in this very small section. And then the rest of the continent is just uncharted territory. So this is a good setting too. If you like the feel of it, you can use it. You can, get that little starter adventure thing going on. And if you just want to go romping out in the wilderness just to kind of find uncharted stuff and ancient civilizations and all that,
that'd be super cool.
And you can absolutely do that.
And then that's when you just start homebrewing up a storm. And that's when you just start rolling on tables and coming up with fun stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you have something very specific in mind. But I think that just based on this first character, we should go with Melitus, which is also a city of learning and progress. It's the intellectual heart of Theros. You said it's sort of like the Athens analog.
Yeah. Athens or Greece, Rome. Is very much a city of culture and progress.
There's philosophical schools, grand libraries, magical innovations, beautiful marble architecture, and numerous temples. That works out perfectly because place of learning, and there's probably a temple to Erebos.
Yeah, so there's probably a temple to most gods.
So Loosejaw is like, I'm going to go to Melitus and I'm going to find out. Very, very Hercules style. I'm on my way.
I can go the distance.
I'm on
my way. I can go the distance.
Have the like the Jim Carrey thing, Living Color?
Yeah.
Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah.
Let me show you something.
Yeah. So funny. All right. Cool. Perfect. Amazing. Awesome. I think that's it.
I think that's it. I think that's good.
I think that's awesome. I think that's fun.
Yes.
All right, everybody. That was our first character for the setting Mythic Odyssey of Theros. And I'm pretty happy with how it went.
I'm very happy.
Very happy. And we will see you guys next time.